Ahoy me hearties! I'm going to help you today to navigate the sea of vegan cheeses which are available in the world today. Well, I'm going to give you three pretty much recommendations on the best cheeses, vegan cheeses to get out there, and I think all of them are actually based upon coconuts. So we all like the coconuts. So without further ado, let's guide you through the cheeses. And to start off with, this is one we opened earlier. This is a vegan red Leicester. You could also, this is from Sheese. Now these have been doing vegan cheeses for a very long time. Excellent to go to them. It costs around about £2.20 from your local shop. A cheaper variety is at Morrisons for £2. You're not quite supporting the Sheese revolution, but it does taste quite similar to this one. But it's going to be the Sheese which is the one that we're going to taste, as there is very little difference between the two. So let's first cut the cheese, and then we will see what it tastes like by putting it upon a nice cracker. Now, that's hit the spot. That is a good, reliable red Leicester cheese that you could put out there for any of your vegan guests, and they would likely enjoy it. Solid red Leicester cheese. It tastes like what I remember red Leicester cheese tasting like. Obviously that's 12, 15 years ago, so who knows the last time I had a red Leicester. A very long time ago. But overall, a great tasting cheese. I'd say 4 out of 5 on the cheese scale. That figure's going to come up quite often. But what kind of cheese do you want to give your guests? Super guaranteed to make them enjoy? Well, they would be familiar with a mature cheddar. So this is from the Tesco range. To be quite honest, Morrisons do a very similar cheese, and I think they might just have the same producer. But this is also based on coconut oil. So let's open up this package and see what it tastes like. Now this is going to be an ideal kind of New Year's cheese where people are going to be having a nice little bit of wine. One cheese that Tesco did do was a blue cheese. Now this was mighty fine and the best of the bunch. For me, a solid 4.5 out of 5. But they don't make that anymore. Because they think that people don't like them. Maybe people don't, but people is me and I like it, so why don't you produce it, Tesco? Anyway, we're going to have to make do with standard cheddar. So let's crack on with that, shall we? I mean, the texture is quite similar to the red Leicester, but it's a bit more crumbly, but it's very cheddar-like. So yeah, it's another solid 4 out of 5 on the mature cheddar. The blue cheese I think is better, but many people might not like the blue cheeses. Finally, for our final cheese, now if you have some uber posh, super hardcore vegans, maybe you will want to get a super posh cheese. Now, that Tesco cheese cost I think £2.20, and the Morrison one was £2, and the Sheese one was £2.20, something like that. This one is a Tyne Sheese limited, super limited edition. It looks limited edition cheese. It's a Rosemary cheese made of aged cashew nut product. So it's a cashew nut based cheese. So let's have a look at it. I've already opened this cheese not long ago, so it comes kind of gift wrapped in this nice kind of waxy paper. Presentation, you cannot fault it. You know, it's got this wooden kind of casing, and the cheese itself, it looks excellent. You've got the rosemary in there, but there's also a bit of orange because I've used the same knife, haven't I, as I've used for the red Leicester. which is one of my favourites. It cuts very nicely, as all of these cheeses do. So we're going to place it on this cream cracker. Why are they called cream crackers? They've not got cream in them. You know, they're vegan, so what's that all about? Anyway, we'll try this rosemary based one. Yeah, I mean, it's an acquired taste. The first time I tasted it, I was like, what the freak? Because it's got a real kind of tang from the rosemary. The rosemary is strong in this one. So you need to be a fan of strong cheeses to remotely enjoy it. And then if you don't like rosemary, you're also not going to enjoy it. So I think it's really a fanatic's kind of cheese. And my first taste of this cheese, I'd say it was a 3 out of 5. But as I'm eating more of it, it's going more towards a 4 out of 5. The texture is a lot softer than the other cheese, but it's nevertheless still a hard cheese. But it's excellent, you know. It's 4 out of 5, and I'm taking into account the price as well there. So I wouldn't eat as much of this cheese as I would the others. It's very strong, it's very finite how much of it you can take in one sitting. So overall, 4 out of 5 again, but let's call it 3.5 out of 5 to take into account the potential of you not enjoying it, of course. Is it worth it? I mean, what, $7.99 it costs from a health food store? I think you can buy it online as well at Tyne Sheese Limited. Is it worth it? Possibly not, but if you're going for a super awesome cheese and wine evening for this New Year's or whatever, then I'd throw it in the mix, definitely. Maybe I'd choose one of the different flavours. They have many different flavours, so do check them out. They're worth considering, and at the very least, they'll make you look like a very considered and thoughtful host, because it presents like no other cheese. I mean, these are just in plastics. They don't look as good at all. Anyway, so what is best cheese of all these cheeses? Because they all level out to about the same score, really, for me when I get to my final score. But I have to come back to Red Leicester. It's either the Sheese variety or the Morrisons variety as being the best cheese, the cheese of the year, as it was. Mainly because I can't get the blue cheese anymore. The blue cheese would be number 1 for me if I could get that. But damn it, both Morrisons and Tesco's have let me down on those. Anyway, I hope this cheese review has been very useful to you. Drop a like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on vegan cheeses. If you want me to try any, then do drop a comment. I don't know whether I'll be able to source it because I'm limited with the shops we can get, COVID, etc. But overall, have a most excellent New Year. And if you have a cheese and wine eating party, then do select the mighty finest cheeses for your palate and for those of your guests. But overall, thank you very much for watching, and have a great day if you are going to be having a cheese and wine day. Thank you.